And we would definitely never start singing a song randomly that we didn't plan for.
Yeah.
Never?
Part of me
Do you think it's a bad thing?
I think it might be sometimes.
You do think it's a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad. I think it's
No,
great.
I'm sorry. Do you think it's a bad thing when people do just flow into something?
Not
random?
necessarily, but I think the level of skill that it takes in musicianship to get there.
Yeah, I think there's
It's
few
very
people
well.
that can
Like,
do it.
We talk about Bethel,
like
Bethel
Stephanie
being able to do
Gressinger.
that.
To do it perfectly or
Bethel
to do it
has,
at all?
when
Because
you go
to
see
do
Bethel,
it
they're
well.
professional musicians.
Well, no,
every
they
one
do
of
it
them.
every Sunday.
There's
though.
not a lot of people that do
but
it
they're
well.
like their level to get there. People that are trying to get there is
And they
it's
practice
insane.
it. They
And
flat out
practice
told
it.
us one time.
They do practice.
Yeah, it's not as spontaneous as they
Their
make it
thing
sound.
on Sunday
That's
morning
true.
is never the first time they do anything.
Correct. That's true.
And most of the
And
time they're
that's-
flowing with the same
you know,
progression they just came out
They
of.
don't have weekly rehearsals though.
Right.
But I think the best. I
We
mean,
get there at like 6 in the
that's
morning
what
on
we do.
Sundays.
It's
Yeah,
like,
we don't have
with
weekly
us not
rehearsals.
having professional musicians,
Right.
like I don't think that kind of thing is important enough to make people show up to do a rehearsal for us to get good enough to be able to flow like that. You know?
But
Yeah,
you
the
don't-
juice isn't worth the
I'd
squeeze on
rather
that
that
one.
You don't
people
think
be
so?
with their families.
You don't think it's important enough for your musicians to be that good?
no, but
No, I think
I think
I
our
think it
musicians
is.
are that
I think
good,
they are that
but-
good.
there's a lot of work goes.
I don't think it's that important for the people. I don't think anyone has that expectation unless they were raised in an environment of emotional
Like our
manipulation.
church, you would lose everybody instantly because they're not.
it would
they're
freak out
non-church
their-
people.
But I would
What
say
they
let's-
want is
but
a,
let's-
a moment of reflection with God, not to be manipulated emotionally.
Can I push back a little on this? What I want to say is that so it raises an important point about the structure of a worship set. So there are different philosophies. Obviously, we've touched on where some people believe in a highly structured set, where you have your scheduled up to the second of what's going to happen when, and then there's the more spontaneous approach. And my question is, I'm not talking in an abusive way, like
What I was talking about.
yeah, to some people where they say you missed the moment, because I think God will still work in that person's life. You just might not be a part of it in that moment, and that's fine. But what I would say is that do we run the risk perhaps of not responding to what the Spirit is doing in the moment when it's so structured that there's no wiggle room at all?
That was my question.
I mean, I think that could be a possibility for sure. Like, but I don't think it's a like black and white yes or no answer to that. I think there are moments where you could like feel like God is telling you to do something just like anywhere in life and not do it.
But you would
know?
make an effort to do it once you get that prompt, is what I'm saying. There's still
I don't
room
know.
for
How often is that really happening from God too? Not that it couldn't. I'm not
Not
saying that
last
it
night.
couldn't.
Versus when is it just like, hey, I'm
feeling something now. Let's go for it.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be
That's the
God
Be-
using
that's
your
the Beth-
skills to
that's
be able
the
to do
Bethel,
that, right?
That's the Bethel formula.
Like
though.
we
It's
don't
like,
work that way.
You're up
but
there.
Who's to say that God can't, like an omniscient God can't make that call a
How
month
big
ago?
is your God? That is
Right.
my question always. How big is your God?
It's like we said.
So
we
in
constantly.
what sense? So when you say how big is your God, is that in terms of
How sovereign is your God? Is he actually all-knowing? Is he actually omnipresent?
Yeah,
is he
just
actually over
changing
every
his mind in a
situation?
moment.
so he
Not that
can
it's a
so
bad
he will
thing.
move regardless of whether you schedule him in or not, is what I'm
In some way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that the moment of interaction between creator and creation is not important. I'm just saying that I don't think God gets any glory out of us facilitating it in a manufactured way, out of
Right.
us manufacturing that moment. I think if God wants to do it, he would have done it in song number 1, not in song number 17.